there. Oh, please work. It's just turning. You know, last time this happened, it popped up. Facebook wasn't allowing people to go live, and neither was Instagram.
I see it.
Is it on?
Mm-hmm. It's on in the Living Well with Jennifer Bell community.
Hey, everybody. And I think it's on my YouTube channel as well. Oh, my gracious. Let's just make sure. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. It is a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And I'm just double checking a couple of things here to make sure. Y'all let us know where you're watching from as you are hopping on, because we're so excited to have another one of our conference speakers with us today to tell you a little bit, just give you a little bit of glimpse of what this conference is going to be about. The Courage2Heal conference is this coming Saturday. It's just 3 days away. And when I tell you, just interviewing these speakers this week, it has been so rich in conversation. I'm telling you, guys want to get here this coming Saturday, because you're going to get the full essence of what the conference is all about. The theme is the glory for your story, because here's the fact: we all have a story. As women of faith, women of God, women, period, we have a story. You've gone through something that is going to enable you to help somebody else to get through that very same thing. But hey, everybody, if you don't know who I am Jennifer Bell, aka J Bell, with Living Well with Jennifer Bell, and I help to encourage and even empower women to be seen, to be heard, and encouraged to heal. To heal from what? To heal from anything that is causing you not to show up as your authentic self, not to show up in confidence, not to show up and do the things that God has designed your fingerprint to do. So with that being said, we want to make sure that you are seen, you are heard, and encouraged to heal through faith, through forgiveness, and what I love to do and talk about, and through your health. So this week, we have been giving you sneak peeks and introducing our conference speakers. And today we have Jasmine Johnson, and I'm going to have her introduce herself, and then we're going to talk about what Jasmine's going to be sharing. And I'm also going to share a quick story of what happened with me this past Saturday, where I needed my friend, Miss Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, Jennifer. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. I'm so pumped that you're going to be here for this conference. And let me just say this to y'all. I was praying for each one of these speakers. They were praying to make sure that this is something that God has designed for them to do in alignment with how they serve. So Jasmine, tell us a little bit about who you are and who you serve.
Thank you. I am Jasmine Johnson, and I'm an emotional wellness coach, and I support women who are coping with the loss of their mom, and I teach them how to heal on their own terms.
Yeah, and that's why I was sharing with her a little bit earlier, y'all, that many of you that saw my video on Instagram, how I had a moment on Saturday. And if you don't know, 2 years ago, I lost my mom. And so just navigating through that grief and understanding, I didn't look at it as grief trauma or anything like that. It's just, I'm just sad, right? But Saturday was one of those moments that I wanted so badly to reach out to Jasmine, but I knew she was at a school reunion, a college reunion, I think it was, and I didn't want to bother her. But let me just tell you this, I did start to look at a little bit more, because people sometimes misunderstand the word trauma. Mm-hmm. Trauma is simply an emotional response to a terrible event, like that caused unpredictable emotions, like what happened to me Saturday, flashbacks. It could be strained relationships, and sometimes can cause some kind of physical symptoms, like, maybe headaches or lack of sleep, those types of things. And so for me, Jasmine, your story, we're talking about the glory of your story and how our stories are helping other women to know you are not alone. Mm-hmm. When we tell our stories, we are fortifying ourselves, our sisterhood, and reaching out to let that sister know that, hey, I got you. I know what you're going through. Let me help you. But I know you talk a lot about your story and the loss of your mom, and how, that healing process that you went through allowed you to be emotionally honest, mm-hmm. so that you can embrace support. Let's talk about that for just a little bit. What does that mean to be emotionally honest?
It means to really take the time to check in with yourself and identify how is it that I'm feeling in this moment. And prior to the loss of my mom, I was someone who did a lot of like tucking. I wouldn't be honest about how I was feeling. I didn't really like to check in with those emotions or tap into them. And a lot of it is due to kind of previous experience that I had during childhood, but it caused me to suppress a lot of things. And that created health issues, a lot of abdominal issues from a very small child into adulthood. I later developed colon cancer. And all of that stuff taught me that you can't just keep suppressing all this stuff and, compounding and placing more things on top of it. Like eventually you're going to have a breakdown, or you're going to feel like you're having like this, like your emotions explode. So I knew that in that moment when my mom passed away, that I couldn't do that anymore. And I knew that it wasn't something that you could just get over. You couldn't pretend like it didn't exist. You couldn't just move on with your life. You had to be intentional about working through that. And I knew that I needed someone who was experienced in handling something like that to really walk me through how am I supposed to live life in the aftermath of this.
All of that. And when my mom passed too, I know I suppressed. I didn't know that's what I was doing, because you still have to show up in life.
Right.
You still have people depending on you, and I would cry silently by myself. And even going back to my own story as to why this conference even came to be after suppressing a lot of things for 38 years, and you talk about that health piece. Well, it was the weight on the inside that I was feeling, right? But it manifested for me on the outside by way of an extra 50 pounds. But having to really get to the heart of the matter in order to take care of my health. And you talk about when we're going through these emotional challenges, if you will, like the loss of a mom. Let me just say, if you don't check in with yourself, when you say check in with yourself, what exactly does that mean?
So even just taking the time to explore, like, how am I feeling right now? And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that as children, a lot of times we're not taught how to identify our emotions, or we have very basic vocabulary for our emotions: happy, sad, scared, but we don't know. A lot of times it's other things. It could be guilt. It can be resentment. There's other things that are lying beneath the surface, even with anger. There's often other emotions that you've experienced before it got to anger. So really just taking the time to ask yourself, like, how am I feeling right now in this very moment? And that's even when you wake up in the morning, because a lot of times you may feel off. You may feel like something feels like thrown off, or you just feel worried and you don't know why. So taking the time to just silence yourself in that moment, saying, okay, how am I feeling right now? And then going a step deeper, like, why am I feeling like this? And a lot of times God will show you, what the underlining feeling is and where it's stemming from, but making that time to just sit with yourself and allow yourself to, process, check in and process, what is it that I'm feeling, and just going deeper with that.
And a lot of times, I know for me in my own journey too, that's not always easy to do. And this is why you need the support. You have to allow people, and it has to be the right people, in my opinion. I'm not the emotional wellness coach, but because many times, oh yeah, I lost my mom too, girl, it'll be all right. That type of thing. So it makes me feel sometimes like, it's gonna be fine. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess that's just part of it. There's nothing that I can do to ease what I'm feeling, or I know she's not coming back. I understand that. But how do I navigate through life without my mom? And that's where I believe the embracing the support, whether you need a therapist, whether you need, a coach or something like that, or journaling, things like that. Let's give one tip, and then y'all going to have to come to this conference, because I'm telling you what Jasmine's going to be sharing even more in depth about how do you process those emotions? How do you make sure you're taking care of yourself? She has a freebie that is amazing, those types of things. But I'll let you answer that real quick.
Okay, so the one tip that I would share, just as we were talking about how some people have trouble.
She froze. Oh, Jasmine, you're frozen.
Can you hear me?
Here, I can. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Okay, so I'll go back. So,
Okay.
just how we were talking a little bit ago about how some people have trouble identifying how it is that they're feeling, I would suggest that people like just Google online like a feelings chart. And that'll
Mm.
help them to begin to identify, and oftentimes it's like a wheel and it has like different feelings and it goes down different like what is it, like levels or categories. So that
Mhm.
will give you a starting place for you to just maybe each morning when you wake up, pull out that feelings wheel and just say, how am I feeling today? And look and see if you can identify a word. And to Jennifer's point about journaling, journaling is often the first step in people to start to, vocalize how it is that they're feeling. A lot of times, sometimes it's hard for them to articulate that. But if we just take the time to write, sometimes that comes easier. And that may be the first step in helping you to even embrace starting to process how you're feeling. And then later, you may feel like you're at a place where you can seek outside support, whether it's from a therapist or some type of grief coach, or like myself, an emotional wellness coach. But I think, taking these steps will, one, identifying how you're feeling and taking the time each day to process it, and then doing some journaling to further unpack that. I think that's a great start.
Awesome. Oh, let me just tell y'all need to go ahead and sign up for this conference. And if you go ahead and sign up, I have a little treat there. We still have it at the discounted price. So get your tickets right now and meet us here Saturday, October 22nd. It begins at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. But listen, even if you can't make it, you will purchase your ticket and you will get access to the replay, right? And here's the other thing, share with a sister. We have got to start sharing with one another even more so we can understand, help that sister know that you're not alone, sister.
Right.
You are not alone in your trauma, whether it's physical, financial, grief, whether it's childhood abuse, whether it's just a compact type trauma situation, whatever it is that keeps and holds you back from being all that God has called you to be and stepping into your assignment, right? Because you give so much to everybody else, but you've not processed what's happening with you. This is
Right.
what it's for. I needed a safe place and a safe space so that I could just even share my story. But for 38 years, I didn't have that. I didn't know where to go. But since I have started to share my story, I'm connected with so many other women, especially women of faith, who are coming together to share their story. Because the more we do this, guys, the more that sister won't feel alone. It won't be one of those taboo things like, oh, she's going through, financial trauma or childhood trauma or whatever the trauma may be. And remember, trauma is just an emotional response to something that happened to you that was not a good thing, a terrible thing. It could be a loss. It could be anything like that, right? So I encourage you guys to grab your tickets. I will drop the link below. You can go to my link in the bio, and let's see you guys this Saturday at and it's virtual. It's a virtual conference this Saturday, beginning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. The Courage to Heal conference. It's going to be fire. And Jasmine's going to be speaking more about grief trauma and how we can at least navigate through it until you get to the point where you can seek out the help and the support that you need as well. So Jasmine, thank you so much for saying yes to this call. Thank you so much for being a speaker with the conference this year, and I'm excited to hear more from you on this Saturday. So with that being said, y'all have a great rest of your day, and tomorrow we will meet our last speaker, and her story is incredible, trust me. But we will see you guys Saturday. Grab your tickets, and guess what? When you grab your tickets and you share with your girlfriend and she grabs a ticket, guess what? I'm giving out affiliate pay. And the person who invites the most people to the conference and they purchase their ticket, there is a swag bag that you won't believe. I mean, you're going to get Dr. Brunel's book. You're going to get my book. You're going to get some freebies from our speakers. It's going to be amazing. So share with a sister friend. Just share it with her and let her just share the link. Let her decide if it's something that she wants to do. But when she does, make sure she writes your name on the invited by, because that's how you get paid for. As my thank you to say thank you for sharing this with another sister who needs to hear and know that she's not alone in whatever she's going through. All right. So with that being said, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for our last speaker interview. And otherwise, we will see you guys this Saturday. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thanks,
Talk to you
Jennifer.
later.
Bye.